convince everybody to come back to Antigua with us, because that was we couldn't negotiate that. So we had one night at Antigua, which this was the sketchy ride out of the hostel up to the shuttle that took us to Antigua. But that was we crammed something like 10 of us because it was me, you, Cam, Sarah, Elise, Will, um, and then two other dudes because Brendan and Pat were headed on their bikes. They had their bikes, their
Yeah.
motorcycles. So we had all of us and then two dudes with their surfboards.
Yeah, that's right.
You remember the surfboards? Yeah, they had their surfboards. I don't know who
This is
was
inside.
sitting.
We should specify. This is inside like a '92 Toyota like pickup truck.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh
Old,
yeah.
like not big at all. Fucking small. 10 people in the bed.
I don't remember who else was sitting on. I was sitting on the tailgate. I don't know who else was. But it was the tailgate was up and I was sitting on it. I was convinced like I'm gonna die. Like this might be where I actually die. I remember being very concerned, but there was nowhere else for me to sit. I was the last one in the truck. I'm like, well, this is just what it is. Hopefully, I don't fall out of the back on this road because it won't end well for me. Another
No, that was probably the
cliffside
most
disaster.
uncomfortable ride I think of my life.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
if I ever put like we put our hands in a lot of other people's trust before in terms of like
mm,
getting sketchy rides and shit. That
yeah,
was probably the sketchiest, I think.
yeah. I would say for sure.
Because I
Um,
remember the wheel wells in the back scraping like
yeah,
against the tires because it was
yeah.
raining in the back, and it was
It was
muddy, and there was a
yeah,
cliff, and it was
yeah.
raining, and fuck, the brakes were shot, everything.
It was just it was one pothole from being a complete disaster. Um,
There was a lot of potholes.
and if we would hit one more, well,
Yep.
lights out for Jordy, I think. Um, but we made it back up to the town where we were catching our shuttle to Antigua, which I don't think it was too far. I don't really remember. I don't think it was that eventful. Uh, but we hit that hostel that apparently the who stayed was it Will and Elise had stayed there and like we got this really great little hostel, super
Yeah.
friendly. It was one of the dodgiest and like most unclean hostels I've ever stayed in, aside from the one that you booked me in Manila, you turd.
You're welcome. And
Yeah,
yes, we
it
had to
was.
sleep on. It looked like our blankets was just the shit that's underneath the carpet. You don't just put carpet on
Yeah,
fucking wood.
it's
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 like
the weird
wood.
insulation.
It's That's what it was. It was
Yeah,
we our blankets were insulation,
yeah,
like you
it
put
was.
in the ground and walls.
Yeah, it was real gross. I do remember because we had I think just one night there, but I was convinced like I'm gonna wake up covered in something, and I'm not okay with that. Uh,
We got away with it,
we did.
except for the hepatitis, but everything else was fine.
That was an unlucky, unfortunate situation that you find yourself in, but hey, I still love
Hey,
it.
when there's that many needles on the ground, you're gonna step on something.
But before we actually like called it a night, we had a good time walking around. I'm pretty sure we stopped at there's some sort of Irish bar. We were looking for food, found some bar, had another deep conversation with everybody on like belief systems and how they change and how you grow and all this and that. And I think there was a soccer match on as well. I don't know if it was. I think the Women's World Cup
It's
was
Central America. There's
was running
always
that
a
time.
soccer match on.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, it was a good little, afternoon. Uh, it kind of once we decided to head back to the hostel, it just kind of died down. Really, like everything was for the most part pretty chill. Um, just more conversation. We walked. I think it was. I think I walked down to Pizza Hut or Domino's. You guys wanted pizza. I'm like, sweet. I'll go get some pizza. Um, and I nearly walked. I went out for a little. Like went in to go pick up the pizza. It wasn't ready. At this point, I started walking down this aisle or this alley. No lights. I'm like, this is probably not a good idea. And then I see about four figures come out of the shadows, start walking towards me. Turn right around. I'm like, I'm not gonna be a statistic here. whether this is like gonna happen or not. I was
I
looking
don't
for
think I knew that.
postcards.
It's a smart
Yeah,
move.
it was. Yeah, I was pretty. That was one of the more sketchier situations I've been in alone on a trip like this, where I'm like,
Interesting.
this is gonna go poorly if I continue to just like move forward, which I don't like you. I don't like to turn. I don't want to turn around. I don't want to come back the same way I came. But in this situation, I wasn't feeling the dark alley with people. Um,
No, not
just
in deep Guatemala. Fuck that.
just didn't seem like the smartest thing to do. So turned around,
Good move.
I found postcards somewhere else, and then picked up the pizza. Came back, we all scarfed. It was a good night. A lot of good conversation. Conversation continued to happen, which was really cool. Again, that was when like a couple people, and not to toot our own horns, but that was definitely the moment where people are like, you guys have made this trip like one of the more memorable points in this trip, because everybody had been on the road for at least 10 months or something like that. They were on a year or something. They were on a long haul backpacking adventure.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true. And that's, you find that a lot in people who aren't American. They're like, oh, we've been out for 12, 13 months. We've been traveling.
yeah,
How about you guys? And we'd be like, we have 10 days.
yeah.
So,
And it, I don't know about you, it took me a little bit of time to come to terms with like, that's okay. Like you don't have to go long and, you know, like these massive long trips to see the world. You know, it's about still experiencing with the time that you have, right? Um, and
100%.
and trying to forge those connections, which that's something you and I always do every time we head out on these trips, is try to meet people and connect and try to find similarities in our lives and whatever. But this was by far the best one that I've ever experienced, and I think maybe like you said that as well. Definitely like changed your life for sure.
No,
Um,
100%. I met up with Brendan in Ireland years later. I met up
oh,
with Cam
nice.
and Sarah, and I saw their baby, and we had dinner in
Yeah,
Adelaide, in Australia, years later. Um, I mean, numerous other people from that group I've seen and talked to, and still, been in
yeah,
contact with.
yeah, yeah.
There's, it was perfect. That
Yeah,
moment in time was absolutely perfect.
yeah. It came when it needed. It showed up when it needed to show up. Like Cam and Sarah have come through Chicago when I was still out when I was on tour. They came through and stayed at my place. And they came through another time when I happened to be around, and we all hung out. Just such an interesting. It was great to think that they felt comfortable enough to reach out to somebody that they had known, like hung out with for 10 days, and we're like, hey, can we stay with you? It's such a like
Well,
it's really neat
here's
experience.
why. I'll tell you why. Anybody who comes out to the middle of a goddamn Guatemalan fucking rainforest isn't, and just like to a yoga spot, is not faking it. Like, you can get
Yeah,
to know somebody out there.
yeah.
There's no assholes out there.
No,
No douchebag is coming out there, right? Like,
right.
it's just all the same kind of mentality of people that, hey, we're just here to like connect and have
Yeah,
fun, whatever. So I think you can get a lot further in that type of scenario than you can in everyday life.
yeah. And I think had we, not that your initial plan was to say that we wouldn't have made like good connections with anybody, but that would have been the path that we were on, because the guy was saying, the cities you want to go, like that's where the backpackers and that's where the nightlife is with the backpackers, which was cool. Like that, I'm down for that. But I think we were both looking to kind of get off the beaten path, and kind of get weird with it, which we absolutely did.
Well, knowing everything I know now, I would never change it. I'm so
Yeah,
glad we went.
yeah, good man. Same. Um, so as we're getting ready to head back to, this is where I felt so bad leaving you at the airport. So we end up like things wrap up. We all say our goodbyes. We'll see you later or whatever. We make it back to the airport. Again, I don't think we had any issues getting there. It was pretty chill, but we're sitting at the gate. My flight left before yours. I remember, I remember sitting at the gate, getting ready to leave you, and you're just like sifting through your backpack. Um, your
Yeah.
headphones had been stolen. You remember this?
Now I do. I
Yeah,
completely forgot about that.
yeah. Your headphones had been stolen. Your knife had been stolen. And I think, like, I wrote this down. That's the only reason I remember this. But your headphones had been stolen. Your knife had been stolen. You lost your swim trunks. You couldn't find your swim trunks. And your computer wouldn't turn on. So I the picture that I wrote down was I left you. You had your running headphones in, but you didn't have like an adapter or something. So you just had your backup headphones in your ears with the cord just hanging by the wayside, not even plugged into your phone.
Did we not fly back to the same tour?
No, because I think we had some other time. We had another couple of days. I think.
Interesting. Okay.
I thought we did, but I was looking at my notes. It doesn't say anything about where we picked up, unless we would have flown. Maybe we've. No, you know what? That was the was that end of Mexico? Because we went to Mexico twice.
I
Um,
don't remember either way.
I don't remember either. Maybe we had a couple weeks off and then met back up in like Costa Rica and then did that next like 3 month run for Blue Man or
No,
whatever.
here's what it was. Here's what it was. We had 10 days off.
Yeah,
We left Mexico City.
yeah,
We did Guatemala. We went to Costa Rica. Had
yeah.
3 more days off.
That's right. That's what it was. That's what
Yeah.
it was. Yeah. So I guess I maybe I walked off to grab like food or something. But I remember you you just sitting there like you just like, well, now what? I got like my computer's busted. And I'm pretty sure they're like Beats
That's
headphones. They were really
Yeah, my
good
computer got
headphones.
fucked. My computer got fucked. My headphones got stolen.
Yeah,
My GoPro was lost to a Guatemalan river.
that's right, the GoPro.
Everything I had brought with me of value, aside from my passport,
Yeah,
was gone.
yeah, you probably thousands of dollars
Oh,
were
easy.
were gone.
Yeah, and that computer was scrapped. I don't even know what the fuck.
And there was one little dude that was so they traced it back because we reached out to the gang and we traced it back to there's this one dude that was doing a bunch of like karate dancing. He's a smaller guy at the hostel, and come to find out that he was the one that was going around swiping people's stuff. I don't remember the dude's
That's
name,
right. I
but
remember, and we
but
put it up.
they
Somebody put it on Facebook. Like,
yep,
this is the guy who's stealing our shit,
yep,
and we trusted him.
we did. He was a nice guy. We got swindled though. Or you got swindled. I didn't lose anything, which
I got
was
swindled like those fucking gypsies, man. I swear
they
to
get
God.
you. They get you. Um, but yeah, that was one of the probably more memorable trips to again like to hear people say that we again not to toot our own horns, but we travel really well together and to be able to leave that kind of impact on somebody and like vice versa. Like I definitely felt an impact was made on me from these people, which was
I,
super fun.
yeah, I think what it is when we argue all the time, and it's like pretty much joke arguing.
Yeah,
Uh, so when we do it around other people, people are allowed to take sides. They're like,
yeah,
I agree with Christian or
yeah,
Tori.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
so they join in the argument, and it's all kind of joking. Like, we'll make up some ridiculous shit to
yeah,
argue about stuff that
yeah.
doesn't really even matter. And then
No, it
people will be
definitely
like,
doesn't.
nah, I think Lunchables were better than snack packs. And you're like,
Yeah.
no, fuck you. Anyway, but yeah,
That's what it is. The banter that we have between each other is just like unprecedented and allows people to be included in, which is fantastic.
yes. And
So
it's all a comedy and it's all laughter.
yeah,
That's the best way to bring people together.
yeah. All right, well we're out of time, so I'm gonna end this before I lose this video. If you are just tuning in, I'm gonna post a link to where you can actually watch this whole thing on YouTube. So yeah, definitely check it out. But next week I'll figure something out, and we'll be back here on Friday doing this all over again. See you, Christian.
Later, dude.